Ashley here with Createful Art, and here I am in New Hampshire. This is called Henniker, New Hampshire, and over here there's people playing football, there's a little town over here, and there's a covered bridge right here, and a forest. There's so many places that I could paint, but I really wanted to paint a little quaint town in New Hampshire, so that's what we're going to paint today. So let's get started. Thank you to my Createful Art members for making this video possible. There is going to be a reference photo for you to enjoy. So the first step is sketching out our composition, and I'm going to use a flat brush. It's about a ½ inch, and I'm just going to make up like a light color. It doesn't matter what color it is, but I'm going to use like a light bluish gray. So because this scene is a little more complex, I have to sketch it out where things are going to be. So I want to make like a square with my hands, or you can use like an old frame. You just pick a spot that you want to paint, and you're going to look at the objects and the shapes that are in that spot and what direction they're going. Okay, I'm just making sure that this looks about correct. And there's no water and shadows come across like that. Now your next step is going to be adding in the layers, and you always start with the background, the sky, so that you can put your trees and your buildings over that. So my color is black, white, and brilliant blue mixed, and I'm just going to get it to the shade of the sky. So I'm going with a 1½ inch brush that's flat on the top, and I'm just going to grab my color, and the canvas is really going to soak up this color, so you'll have to make up a lot of it. And make sure you go down below your lines, because even though you're kind of getting rid of your sketch, you don't want to see any of the white of the canvas behind your trees. So this sky, I'm just going to go back and forth this way. There's a little straight cloud that's right through here, and the reason why I'm going to keep that is because it brings out the purple in one of these roofs in here, and it really makes it look cool. So I'm just going to add in a little bit in my sky, and I'm just adding a little bit of purple to that color that I had there. So you're going to move on to the trees next, because that's the next step in the background. We're getting into the middle ground. So I'm going to use my Phthalocyanine Green blue shade and my bronze and my emerald green. For the highlights, I'm going to use gold and yellow. I'm going back to my smaller flat brush. Here's a pine tree, and when you're doing a pine tree, you just kind of come in from all the different angles and go in like this. Making kind of a shape like that. Okay, I'm just bringing this color down here, and I'm not going to worry about the details back here, because I have to make this house and put the trees around the houses and all that jazz, and so I'm just kind of giving this a basic color, putting it down, and then if I need to go over it, I will. Just bringing it down to my bridge is what I'm doing. So this next step, I'm going to be working on the water. So I'm going to come back here and add that green that's supposed to be back here where the trees are. Okay, and over here as well. Just getting that base coat down. Okay, so since I have that green color down, I'm going to grab my big fat brush again, and I'm going to put in the water. And basically, because of the reflection, the water is mostly green, and then as you get closer, it's that light blue of the sky. So you have both of these colors down, so you just grab your blue. I'm going to grab my blue first. You can do it whichever way you want. You grab that green, your bronze. It's a pretty dark color. You might need some purple just to darken it up. About right there, kind of a muddy grayish greenish color, and you're gonna put that in over here. Now just remember that this is just the color underneath and everything will be gone over, and so all this right through here is a really dark color. Just to put your shadow down is good, so just get that shadow down in there. And now I'm going to give this bridge a little more structure. And I'm grabbing my bronze and my purple, and I'm going to add in the shadows underneath. So I'm going to take my flat brush and I'm basically just going to follow the shadow from side to side, and then it flattens out at the top and then comes over. Okay? And then you're going to do the exact same thing down here. So you're going to come over here and you're going to do the same thing down, same exact shape. Now I'm going to add some more gold or a brick color and my smaller brush, and I'm going to add the top of this. So coming in here, I'm going to block in the shapes, go over anything that doesn't really work. Okay, and on this side there's the most contrast, so grab your white, and there's hardly any shadow, so this shouldn't be as thick as it is. Okay, and then just bring that across, kind of give it a brick feeling. Now you're just going to make sure that you have the reflection of this shape right down below it. So there was a space between this one, so I'm just going to go like this. Because this is a reflection, you don't have to get it so perfect. And just let it kind of go into the water. Alright, so I'm moving down to a smaller flat brush for my houses, okay? And this should be dry. Make sure this is dry first before you start out. And you're just going to look at the colors of the houses and the shapes. And you'll have to look at the reference photo to know what they are, but that's what you do. You don't have to get this perfect. Just basically looking at the shapes, that's it. So we found this place kind of a little bit late because we were looking for a place to paint. So I'm going to have to come back tomorrow and finish this painting. So next step, tomorrow. Okay, I'm back, and now I'm going to fill in the rest of these spots that are just white with color. That's the next step. Just getting that basic color down. Have your whole painting filled in. There shouldn't be any white, and for this next step we're going to start with the background and move to the foreground, adding details, different values and different colors to bring this all together and make it look like it looks good. There's a tree back there that has more gray and more bronze in it. This is going to separate that tree from the surrounding trees. Tree has more yellow in it, so I'm going to come in here, adding more yellow, and I'm separating that tree from this background. So now when you're at the water, so for example I have these plants coming over here, you're just going to take that and just put in that color down here. No detail, just put in the color. And then there's this brown that separates them. You'll also be able to see the contrast in the trees. To bring that down too. You can get as detailed as you want. You just have to make sure, since this is one of the focal points, that it looks like what it should look like, basically. Okay, so I'm just adding the details to my bridge here. And whatever I add up here has to be added down here. Okay, when you're ready to put in the water, I'm just coming in here with my light blue, and I'm putting in streaks that go across it. So it's going to make it look a lot like water. This has got rabbits back here, so it goes all the way to the edge. So I'm running out of daylight, of course. That's always the problem when you're painting plein air. But now we can move on to the next step, which is the foreground, okay? And so in the foreground, since this is the focal point, I don't want to add as much detail as I did in this focal point right here. So I'm just going to be really loose with my brush strokes. Okay, and there's always more contrast when you're closer, more differences in values. Okay, and this comes right in here. I mean, it's making this curved right here. I'm just gonna come in here and make that curve. This comes down a little bit. Notice how sporadic I'm being with my brush strokes, and I'm letting it be thicker over here. Still letting some of that background shine through. So for this last step, you're going to step back and look at your painting, see what it needs, add the details that you want. If you wanted it more detailed, sign your work, and then you're done. I hope you enjoyed creating with me. A special thanks to all these Createful Art members that are listed here who helped make this video possible. You too can become a Createful Art member. There's a link in the description, and you get lots of perks from me for doing such and help make these videos. So I will see you in my next video. Bye!
It's time to go in!
Okay, go get your tablet and go in. Grab your tablet and run to the truck.
No!
I don't know where he's running. He's like running off into the middle of nowhere.